Hey YouTube, it's your nice video, and I'm going to do a video response to FreakinYaYa88 and Steviebreech with the Dream Match Time Travel. It took me a while to get me thinking, it got my mind going, and you had to pick 5 matches that you would want to go back and see and be a part of the crowd live for that you didn't get to be a part of. And he said to make sure that you don't pick certain one that's on a pay-per-view, that he's going to do a video on the top 5 pay-per-views you would want to see in person. So I picked 5. An honorable mention would be Destination X 2006 with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels in the X Division title match for the or in the Ultimate X match, and that's one of my favorite TNA matches to watch. But we'll start it off with number 5. This is one of my, he said no moments, but this is a match that had a moment within it. SummerSlam 2000 Hardcore Championship match, Shane McMahon versus Steve Blackman, and I'm a huge fan of Shane McMahon. As soon as I said that, you already know what the thing's gonna be. Well, he was going up, Shane McMahon was going up the thing, the Titantron. Steve Blackman whacks him with the kendo stick. Shane falls. I don't know how big of a fall that was, but if you were a part of the crowd and you did not expect that, you would lose your mind. Like, you'd be freaking out like the blank dude from Wrestlemania, like that guy, whatever. Like, that would just make the crowd go crazy. I bet they were just kind of in awe and so scared to see what happened to Shane, and I don't know. Then Steve Blackman ended up picking up the win. Not really a match for the wrestling, but for the moment that happened where Shane McMahon fell, and then no one really talks about this, but Steve Blackman went down and he probably jumped like 20 feet onto him, but that's not the point. But yeah, that would be something crazy to see in person, something of that, and I would want to see that because Shane McMahon's one of my favorites. Number 4, Bash at the Beach 1996. Macho Man Randy Savage, Lex Luger, and Sting versus Scott Hall and Kevin Nash with their mystery opponent to be revealed. Hulk Hogan comes out. Crowd goes nuts. They think that he's gonna help out and fight off the outsiders. Big boot to Macho Man or whatever, hits the leg drop. Crowd goes nuts. Starts the NWO for life, and that's a moment that changed wrestling. That changed wrestling. That started the whole attitude. That was one of the things that started the attitude era. Got the NWO started. Got WCW was like right here, and WWF right here. Well, WCW went all the way up here once NWO started going, and nobody expected that. I mean, that's another moment that everyone in the crowd would just be like going bananas. And then my number 3, this is kind of a random one, maybe to some people, but this is one of my favorite matches that's ever taken place on Raw. Ladder match for the Undisputed Championship, July 1st, 2002. Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy put up the biggest fight of his life to try to win the Undisputed Championship, and at some points you thought that he was going to win the championship, and then Undertaker at the end, Jeff Hardy's almost coming up the ladder to grab the belt. Undertaker comes in and choke slams him off or whatever, gets the belt. Taker leaves at the top of the stage. He's like, "I'm not dead, Taker!" Like, he says it like this weird voice or whatever, but he comes out, he like grabs his head, he goes to punch him, and then he... Sorry about that, my iPad ran out of space. What I was saying is, he goes to punch him, then he stops, he like shakes his hand or whatever, and that's like the ultimate sign of respect that Hardy gained after that match from Undertaker. And I don't know, that's probably my favorite match that's been on Raw. And I don't know, I just love that match. It's one of my favorite ladder matches that's happened. Number 2, this isn't really another wrestling match. This is more like a feel of the crowd match. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, icon versus icon, the two biggest stars in wrestling, going head to head in Canada, a hot crowd, and some people are Rock's fans and some people are Hogan fans. There's no in the middle. There's no liking both of them. It's you're a Rock fan or you're a Hogan fan, and you want to see who's the real icon. And The Rock came out with the win on this one, and he's the icon. Hulk Hogan ditched the NWO stuff after that, shook his hand or whatever, and I think that's one of the biggest moments in WrestleMania history or wrestling history. Hogan and Rock going down in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year. And good match, but it's not really remembered for the wrestling. It's remembered for the icon versus icon, like the star power of the match. And that's just something that I would want to be a part of the crowd for, like being a Rock fan. That would be cool. Then my number one match that I would want to go back into time and travel to is WrestleMania 16 or 2000, whatever you want to call it. The Triangle Ladder match for the tag team titles. Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys, the tag team champions, versus Edge and Christian. And this is my favorite ladder match of all time. And I don't know, a lot of people like WrestleMania 17. I like it too. People like TLC. The first one, I mean, I like them all, but this one is my favorite one. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is, like how much, why I like this one better. But I do, and you saw Edge and Christian pull out the win with grabbing the titles, like when there was two ladders in the ring with the table on the top. Reaches up, grabs the belts, new tag team champions, Edge and Christian, and this started a rivalry that would go down in history for tag team rivalries. Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff versus Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys, Devon and Bubba Ray. And it's probably my favorite tag team rivalry of all time. Edge and Christian versus the Hardys even had their own WWE rivalries episode, and Dudley Boys were included in it. But these six guys would go on to have awesome matches throughout the next year or so, year and a half. And yeah, that's my dream match time travel, 5 matches that I would want to go back in time for, and be a part of the crowd, witness the match live. And yeah, he said, FreakinYaYa88 said that he would do a top 5 pay-per-view thing that you would want to be a part of or whatever. And I haven't really thought of any of those yet, but if he does do a video of that, I'll start thinking of it. But this was a really intriguing video and got my mind flowing and had me think and scratched out some matches. And yeah, but I'm going to put a link to... I got a link of the Raw match, ladder match, WrestleMania 18 and 16 matches, and I'll try to get a link of all the moments, the matches, in the description. And yeah, do a video response, comment, a link of one or whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, bye.